Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast, the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions, the worlds of TV, film, music, news, pop culture, sports, everything really, depending on the guest. We talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. I am speaking to two-thirds of the band Chase Atlantic. I'm going to have them introduce themselves, tell us what they do in the band, and we will get into it.
Yo, what's up? I'm Christian. I play guitar and sing.
I'm Mitchell, and I'm the main dancer.
Christian,
No.
Mitchell, welcome to
We both
Popternative.
produce in the band. We both sing.
Bit of everything.
I don't play guitar that much.
You play
He
guitar.
plays guitar.
Gentlemen, welcome to Popternative.
Thank you for having us.
It's
Okay.
really interesting because, you know, the music that you guys play, you don't limit yourself in terms of the styles and the sounds in Chase Atlantic. I mean, why limit yourself, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. I mean, Popternative is the name of the show.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah,
You summarized.
the pop and the alt, putting it together.
We never wanted to be like in one genre, but it's just like it's always subconsciously we've just put all the things we like from different genres and put them together.
Yeah. I mean, music shouldn't really have a limit ever, and why restrict yourself if you can make a little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's always good to have a repertoire, a broad recipe range.
Christian, are you noticing that genres are kind of not becoming that important anymore? I mean, like, I feel like you're just musicians making music, putting all these sounds together. I feel like the genre thing, putting someone as a genre, is an issue these days.
Yeah, definitely. I think even with Spotify playlists, just doing things like New Music Friday, it's just new music.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be, even there's like the Gen Z playlists and stuff. Just having like a mixture of everything. I think people are a little bit more open-minded now at how different, you can have a hip hop song number one, and then number two could be, Taylor Swift. I just think it's such a broad variety at the moment. We're not going through phases. Like it's not phases anymore. It's just people like collectively what they like. And there's always going to be,
Yeah, like a favorite.
yeah,
It just comes and goes. Like
comes and goes.
it's all music at the end of the day, though, and it's starting to become more collectively minded rather than the segregation of styles. And I feel like music's just becoming, it's either good music or it's not.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Mitchell, now there's exciting stuff with Chase Atlantic. You guys are announcing a lot of things. You just put out a song for Slide, which is exciting. And of course, there's a record coming out March 5th. There's also a live stream, Mitch. I mean, like, it's kind of an interesting time. There's no shows right now, but there's a live stream going on.
Yeah, I mean, the live streams are the closest things to the shows that we can do because it's very special. I think over the last few years we've been touring a lot as artists, and it's quite draining, but it's also so rewarding to see people's like the energy they feel that when they're seeing a live performance. So a live stream is just really it's showing how much that we really appreciate and love the support that we get from our fans, basically. And I feel like it's the best way to kind of show them that we care and reward them with something rather than nothing. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Now, what's really interesting about Chase Atlantic is the fan base is a global fan base. You guys have fans from all around the world. And it's one of those things where you mentioned Spotify a little bit, Christian. It's interesting because that's where you kind of see the global reach, all the playlists and the charts from all around the world. When did it hit you guys where you realized that it's not just kind of an Australian band thing? This is like you were a global band. When did that hit you guys like first?
I think it was like our objective from the get-go.
We've always wanted to come to America and be as big as possible thing we could, never wanted to limit ourselves. And so it was always our goal, I guess. But even now, like we don't really sit. I mean, when we got past 4 million monthly listeners, we did have like a little chat together, and it was like, damn, from like recording stuff in a bedroom in Brisbane to getting like 4 million monthly listeners. It's a big deal, big deal for us.
Yeah, it's very weird as well because we are so reclusive, and especially like a lot of our progression has happened over the last, throughout 2020 and like towards the end of like 2019 and obviously this year, it's basically doubled. And so normally through that process, you'd meet other artists and you'd interact, and it's weird to think that artists that we still look up to, like I still feel like we look up to other artists and to to see the stream numbers and see that we actually have more listeners than them, but it doesn't feel like that. We don't feel as if we have. I don't know. We're not arrogant or cocky about it. It's very humbling.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the big thing now, looking at, like, because you know how, like, people are like, oh, let's see, like, this person's Instagram follower count, right? I feel like monthly listeners on Spotify, that's the new kind of thing to check.
Yeah, so we're just stoked about it, but like it's weird to think. Yeah, it's like there's so many other artists that we love and aspire to. We're still inspired by it.
It shows the consistency, you know. It shows like this is how many, like, that this is still going, and that it's like a solid fan base that we have. It's not just like a one song that's done really well. It's like consistently they're coming back. Which we're very grateful for.
It's about the whole thing rather than
the whole pie.
Catch. It's about the whole pie. It's all different flavors in there.
Now,
a bunch of fun.
Some of my favorite artists are from Australia. What I find it interesting too is the artists that I'm going to name, like Parkway Drive, Northlane, yours truly. These are bands of kind of different genres. So what's in the water over there in Australia, where a lot of these different kind of genres and bands are doing a lot of cool things? It's really cool. Like, some good music has come from your country, guys.
Yeah, Parkway Drive is one of my first concerts. Parkway Drive and Northlane as well. They were the local boys. They played at They played at this thing that was, it's like next to my school was this tiny little, probably in front of 200 kids, and they just headlined that. But I
think it's the fact that we're so far away from what's going on in the world. Like we're on the other side of, you know what I mean? Like we're literally on the other side of the world. And like I think it's kind of that aspiration of wanting to do big things coming from a small place that's not well known, you know what I mean? And kind of showing, I feel like Canada in a way is almost the same. They have like a something to prove. They got a little extra oomph behind them because
Canada,
they have to work harder. You know what I mean?
There's definitely like a little bit of competitiveness in Australia as well.
Absolutely.
Which I definitely like felt. I felt it a little bit when we were playing, you know, shows, and there was these other punk bands and stuff that were doing the same size. But once, without trying to sound too arrogant, once we came to America and did that, it was game over.
Yeah, we always kind of aspired to just make music for not just our friends and not just people of Australia, but for the whole world. Like, we don't even have to know we're Australian. The first time I heard the Kid Leroy, I thought, this kid definitely not.
It's true too. That becomes a thing where, like, you find out after where your favorite artists are from. That's not something that you kind of know right away. It's true.
I feel like we're quite adaptive. Adaptive. We're not we don't really shy away from anything, and like we kind of just absorb all of this information coming from obviously American culture, coming from just a whole bunch of music that's being made around the world.
Yep.
And so we kind of just absorb all that knowledge and then turn it into our own thing.
Yeah.
And it just works out.
And can you both kind of talk a little bit about what we can expect from this new record? What are we going to kind of have sound-wise? How excited are you to kind of put it out? I want to hear from both of you. Like, what are we getting with this new record coming out March 5th?
We
stoked. No, I think I don't know. We're just like, we've got one more song coming out in a couple of days, Empty, and that's really like the finishing touch of the roller coaster ride you're gonna go through this album. You got songs like Aliyah and Out the Roof, which are more us just being
fun,
ignorant, having fun, really just like, you can hear it in the song. It's just us not taking it too seriously and just like really trying to make like a fun, energetic song. If you could see what that process is like.
It's about the feeling. You would see that we didn't write a word down. So it's all just kind of.
And then you got songs that, like the album title song is just like one of our classic, like really cool 80s pop numbers. And just everything from Molly being like the old kind of style, Out the Roof, that style. And then this one that's coming out is
that ominous kind of like new school. Like I feel like we're kind of breeding a whole new genre within this album with a few of the tracks, which is pretty cool.
Not like you guys have already not blended in like enough genres. We're gonna add more genres, right?
Yeah, we've added more.
This is the next step. In a long journey.
Songs like Paranoid and Wasted are just like,
come on, no,
you've never heard that from us before.
It's one of those things too where every song on the record is going to kind of have a story, and every song on the record is going to have a different feel, and certain kind of instruments or certain vibes are going to kind of appear. Was that kind of the game plan too, where you kind of wanted to have a feeling where, yeah, there's going to, like, each song is a Chase Atlantic song, but each song is going to have its own vibe and own feel, and maybe certain people, like new listeners, are going to come and discover like one track. Have you ever thought about that, guys?
Yeah, I mean, consciously, probably not. Subconsciously, the thing is, we just make the music that we love to make, and we're like, it either sounds good or it doesn't sound good. And
when do you know? That's another question. When do you know? Is it when you're making it? Is it when you hear it after? Like, do you?
Yeah, it's like from the beginning. It's like when we're producing the instrumental, because we do it very unorthodox. I feel.
Yeah.
We create these instrumentals that are full pieces that we're completely happy with.
That they could stand alone by themselves, instrument wise, you know?
Like, it doesn't need we don't go collecting beats from different producers. We don't work with other producers. So basically, if that instrumental is good from the get-go, you all know, like, I'll walk into Christian's room and be like, this sounds cool. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
He'll walk into my room and be like, that's pretty cool.
Really cool.
And that's all the affirmation we really need is just from each other. And then we're like, if we both like the same thing, then all three of us agree on it. It's go time.
Usually Mitchell would just be like, I've got a little idea, and he'll like sing it, and it's like, yeah, go on the booth. That sounds amazing.
It's pretty. We've been pretty lucky. I
don't think I've ever heard him sing something and I was like, that's crap.
Dude, what the fuck was that?
No, he's solid. Pretty solid every time. Like, yep, great, print it to SoundCloud.
But I find that's kind of, I always thought about that, because you put like an artist puts out a record, and you always think about kind of when, like, what kind of, because I know for a fact too, I used to be in bands and everything as well. PD Beats was because I played drums. That was my stage name. You know what I mean? But like, it's one of those things where, you know, we used to write like 18 songs, and we said only like 6 or 7 are going to go on the album type thing. So there comes a point where you have to be picky and choosy too.
Exactly. But the thing is, we have this whole back catalog of amazing songs that we never released too. So it's interesting. I think maybe one day we will release them, but like
a B-side.
It's crazy to think that you can still make more music that you didn't release that's equally as good as the music you already did release. So it's always fun to have a listen to those and be like, I guess we could just keep making these songs.
Yeah, I mean, even us releasing the Paradise EP, that was supposed to come out in 2015, and it just never came out.
Yeah.
And people just kept asking. So I think 2 years ago we were like, here it is. Here's the thing that never got released.
And then now TikTok loves Slowdown. Yeah.
I know, it's crazy. And to think that, I mean, it's like calm before the storm. I mean, you know, we're snapping our fingers and the record's going to be out. Have you kind of thought about like what the reception's going to be like? Because we all know, like, when new things come out, it explodes and goes crazy. Like, it's going to be nuts.
It's exciting times. I mean, last year was definitely the roughest year, I think, of everyone's life, in a broad sense. So this has really been the milestone we've been itching to kind of achieve.
Yeah.
And really, like, I personally just love seeing people's reactions to like videos and stuff. Like, just, I love YouTube reaction videos. That's my guilty pleasure.
Or I also do you guys do the fail videos, the fail army videos? Do you ever watch those? Because that's what I do.
I see what's the fail armies.
Yeah, I do the fail armies and I do the reaction videos. Those are the guilty pleasures.
It's the closest thing, like, seeing people's reactions to the songs is the closest thing you can get to like getting a power. You can go invisible and hear what people are saying. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's the closest you can get to seeing someone's genuine reaction and hearing what they have to say about it, rather than having to read it digitally, because, you know, you can write LOL in capitals on your phone and have a fully straight face while you write that. Whereas you can't put a price on seeing someone's genuine reaction.
No,
I'm excited to see that.
That's very, very true. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming on Popternative. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Love your energy.
So can you please plug away? Like, you know, the record's coming out March 5th. There's a live stream. Where can they follow you on social media? Can someone just plug away, please?
Plug the team.
March 5th, Beauty and Death's coming out. We got a live stream coming out on the 20th of Feb, and a new single coming out 19th.
And a breakdancing crew coming out for 2022, maybe.
Where can people follow you guys on social media to keep update with everything?
Follow my personal Instagram. It's Chase Atlantic.
It's at Bingo.
At Bingos. Yeah, just Chase Atlantic everything, and you'll find us.
Great, guys. Well,
we attach everything to every social media site, so you can just kind of go through a spider web there. And
One-stop shop, right?
You'll
For
find
mom
what
and
you're
pop,
looking
but
for.
don't bring your dad around here. So no place.
Well, this has been Popternative. YouTube.com/Popturn for previous episode. Be sure to check out Chase Atlantic's new record that comes out March 5th. You're going to be able to listen at wherever you listen to music. Until next time, this is Chase Atlantic and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.